Gentlemen, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to lose the gut the most simple and most sustainable, legitimate way that exists, okay? I've done this for myself. I've done this for hundreds of clients. I'm currently doing this for hundreds of clients inside of American Stallion, our coaching program, our one-on-one coaching program that delivers amazing results. But I'm going to teach you how to do it. Lose the gut, the inflammation, the lower belly fat, the bat wings, the side fat. This video will explain how to do it. And I'm going to be going into extreme detail on calories, macros, timing, protein, carbs, fat, fiber, what to eat on the back. So don't go away. I'm going to flip this whiteboard around and talk about everything you need to know. So when you leave this video, despite everything you've been taught, everything you've read, everything you use ChatGPT, Claude AI to discover, you will be able to lose your gut in a simple and sustainable fashion that makes it fun and easy and fast. I can't promise you an exact deadline because that comes down to you. But if you stick to the principles I'm about to explain, you can see insane progress in 60 to 90 days. So, number one, as always, nutrition is the foundation. So, the first thing you need to do is establish what is your goal body weight. For me, I like to stay around 180. So those are the numbers we're going to use, but I make it simple. I'm going to give you all the math for you math nerds and wizards, all the math you need to calculate this for yourself. Okay? So, goal body weight, what is yours? For me, it's 180 pounds because we're in America. So I take 180 pounds because that's my goal body weight. If you're 200 and you want to get down to 180, you need to multiply 180 times 13 to 14. Now, there are a lot of other coaches and brands and influencers out there that will say you need to do 11 or 12. That's too low, in my opinion, for metabolic health, which makes it sustainable when you're metabolically healthy. We want you to be able to eat a lot of food and still get lean and stay lean. So to do that, the calories are going to be a little bit higher. So you're not binging at night. You're not thinking about M&Ms and Sour Patch and cookies and ice cream and whatever else. And when the weekend comes, you're not tempted to drink and just let loose. So 13 to 14 times 180. That is roughly, for the purposes of this video, 2350. So that's 2,350 calories. Now that we have that established, the first thing you're going to calculate is the protein. Arguably the most important, right? You need protein at every meal, obviously. It keeps you full. It builds muscle. We all know this. This is outdated information. But how much? 1 gram of protein times target goal body weight. So for me, that's 180 grams of protein is what you need to be consuming. Next, fat. We have our protein. Now let's get our fat. Hold on. We have our calories and our protein. We have our fat. We'll get to carbs later. So, you take your calories, multiply by 0.30 or 30%, 30 to 35%. General. If you're doing endurance events, Ironman, you're running, you're cycling, you're doing a half marathon or full marathon, this is going to be slightly different. This will be slightly lower. But for the general man who's trying to just lose your gut, the simple way, the sustainable way, someone who's just weight training in the gym and getting his steps, maybe you're walking around a farm, maybe you own a business and you don't have time to train, or you don't want to train for something other than just aesthetics and feeling and looking really good. this is where you're going to be. And I explain why. 30 to 35%, which makes our carbs a little bit lower, which makes it even easier to get leaner and stay dry. Am I making sense? So, calories, 2350 times 0.3. That is roughly somewhere around, I think, 722. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm doing the math in my head. Divide that by 9, and that gets you roughly 90 grams of fat. Someone do the math below. I'm doing this all in my head. So 90 grams of fat. So we have our protein. Boom. We have our fat. Boom. Let's talk fiber real quick because everyone likes to talk about fiber. We're going to touch on it briefly. 25 to 35 grams of fiber is more than enough, gentlemen. I'm telling you right now, that's more than enough. You don't need to go crazy. You're going to get that fiber just by eating the amount of carbs that I give you after calculating all this. But we want fiber because the fiber keeps us full, and the fiber helps to push food through, aka speeding up your metabolism. If you're waking up and your stools are like either crummy or small and they're not big, nice logs, you're not eating enough carbs and fiber. So increase the fiber, increase the carbs. That will help getting lean and staying lean a lot easier and more sustainable, make it more sustainable. Okay, so next, carbohydrates. What's left after this? So we have 180 grams of protein, 90 grams. I'm listening to The Who right now. Don't get fooled again. All right, so 90 grams of fat. Carbs, what's left? All we have to do now, gentlemen, is take this, add up this, so times 4. And the remainder, I can't do the math right now. 7. The remainder in carbs is going to be around 200 grams. Check my math. I just did all that in my head. So there is your macronutrient. So macros at 180, right? Target goal body weight. We have our fat, 90. We have our protein, 180. We have our carbs, 200. This is for the general guy out there who's weight training or strength training and looking to look good and feel good and have energy at the office and throughout the course of his day, week, with his family, business, church on Sunday, whatever. You want to look good, but you want to have energy, guys. I mean, come on. Most of you are eating too low in calories. Don't do that. Look, 2350, and that's on the low end. I like programming 14 because it's more sustainable. Yeah, but can I still lose fat and the gut and the inflammation if I'm eating 2,500 calories? Yes. There's not much of a difference. Remember, gentlemen, all we need is to be in a caloric deficit of 3,500 calories per week to lose 1 pound of body fat per week. So even if you're eating 100 calories more per day, you're still going to likely be there if you're doing your steps and your training. I'm going to get into that on the back and show you and break down the TEDA, right? Total daily energy expenditure. But it's going to make it more easy to withhold. Like if you have two guys and one's suffering at 1,800 and the other one's eating 2,400, yes, the one at 1,800 might lose fat faster, but he's going to do what? Binge. He's going to be thinking about food. He's going to be distracted. He's not going to enjoy the process as much, and therefore he's going to be less apt to stick to it. So always program higher calories than you think. It's really not that high. And I'm going to explain on the back. But the last thing, the kitchen cutoff, guys, you really want to be done eating your last meal 2 to 3 hours before going to bed or bedding down. This is going to allow the highest chance for your body to recover and focus and prioritize on recovery and building muscle and losing fat over digestion. We don't want your body going to bed in a digestive state. No bueno. We want you to be rested and recovered, and your body just doing what it does at night, as opposed to focusing all of its energy and resources and time on digestion. So this is arguably one of the most important things, having that kitchen cutoff 2 to 3 hours before bed. Now, gentlemen, let's talk about what specifically to eat so that you can transform into a walking human weapon system, as I have done and as we have done for hundreds of clients at American Stallion. So, what to eat? The protein anchors are in red. Beef, eggs, and chicken occasionally. We like grass-fed, grass-finished beef, organic, 100% regeneratively raised, pasture-raised, out here on the land. Why? The quality of the food starts in the quality of the soil. If you're eating food that is derived or coming from cheap soil or a feedlot, aka no soil, good luck. You're going to have to supplement every vitamin and mineral and nutrient under the sun just to be operating at a very, very high level. Whereas I don't need to. My pasture or another farm or pasture like ours, that soil is healthy. Healthy soil, healthy grass and plants, healthy animals, healthy food, healthy humans. The cows are doing all the work. If you let them do the work out in nature, out on pasture, and they're eating grass only, you can eat it every single day and you don't have to worry about toxins, chemicals, heavy metals, plastics, nutrient deficiency, trace minerals, vitamins. The cow is getting it all from the soil and the grass. I'm telling you, we test our soil here. It's very high in all trace minerals and nutrients and vitamins. So because of that, the red meat from 100% grass-fed, grass-finished, regeneratively raised cows are going to be higher in density, in nutrients. They're going to have more compounds that you need to build muscle and lose fat simultaneously. Same with the eggs, pasture-raised. Same with the chicken, pasture-raised. But unfortunately with chicken, you can't really grow or raise chicken out on pasture without feed, unfortunately. Chickens are monogastric animals, meaning that they only have one stomach. Cows are ruminant. All red meat is ruminant. Multiple stomach chambers. They don't need supplemental feed. And the problem with the supplemental feed is we don't know where it's coming from. We don't know what's in it. We don't know what's been sprayed on it. We don't know the quality of it. So that's why I don't like chicken as much, but it's still a staple. It's still a protein anchor. Then, dairy, fruit, honey, some tubers for the general population. And then for those like me or those that are doing marathon, endurance events, you can do some organic white rice, some organic sourdough bread, stuff like that. More complex carbs because you need the fuel and the glycogen and you need more complex carbs. In addition to the tubers, which are your potatoes, your roots. So now that we have what to eat, beef, eggs, fruit, honey, dairy, some tubers, right? Honey and fruit for your carb sources as well. This is a carb source, carb source, carb source. Now let's talk about when. Well, when do I eat this food? Well, we talked about when to stop eating it, 2 to 3 hours before bed. But when do you eat it? Well, pre, intra, post-training. For carbohydrates specifically, most important. Protein you can get in throughout the entire course of the day. It doesn't really matter. If you can get 20 to 30 grams of protein right after training, great. Does it matter? No. What matters is how much protein. Are you hitting your target goal body weight in protein every single day to build muscle and lose fat? That's what matters. Carbs, though, matter pre, intra, and post. If you're going to the gym and you're not eating carbs pre-training or post-training, you're going to have a very hard time fueling yourself to build more muscle, have more energy, and perform throughout the course of your day after you've trained. That's why you're crashing. Who's crashing by 2 p.m.? You need more carbs. You need more energy. Your brain requires glucose and glycogen and energy. Your liver. And then, we talked about the cutoff. Let's talk about the 2 to 3 meals a day. I used to do 2 meals a day. 2 meals a day is great. 2 meals and a snack, breakfast, snack, dinner. 3 meals a day is great. 3 meals and a snack is great. It all comes down to your feeding windows and when you can get this food in. If you were extremely busy, do 2 meals a day. Once in the morning after training, maybe some dates or honey pre-training, carbohydrates pre-training to get you ready for the gym. And then your big breakfast, and then when you come home, you have your second meal to finish off, top off. Because it's not that many calories. 22, 23, 24, 25, 2600 calories. You'll be somewhere in that range. It's not a lot of calories. So you can do it in 2 meals when you're cutting. And so then during the day, you can either do a light snack or you can fast. I don't mind fasting as a tool throughout the day. Now, if you're fasting every day before going to the gym to train, you're going to get left behind. And you're not going to build the physique that you want because your body's not primed to lift. You're not going to have any energy. You're not going to be pumped. You're not going to have veins. If you're not pumped in the gym, you don't have veins popping out, you need more carbs. You're not going to build enough muscle. So remember that. So training now. 3 to 4 times a week is plenty for most of you. When I say most of you, I mean probably all of you. You need to be hitting the gym 3 to 4 times a week, hard, with good intensity. Weight training, full body, compound. These are king. I don't care what anyone else says. Weight training and compound lifts are king. The heavier you can lift without killing yourself, without going crazy and ego lifting, the more muscle you're going to build. Because we need to stress the body. If you don't stress the body, it's not going to develop. If you can't do full body and compound because you're older, you're injured, splits work fine, upper body, push-pull, lower body, push-pull, whatever, however you want to break it up, it doesn't matter. 3 times a week, you could do upper body on Monday, lower body on Wednesday, and more upper body again on Friday. That's fine. Or you could break it up, push, pull, whatever. I do mostly full body 3 times a week with a lot of compound lifts to keep muscle on while I'm training for my full distance Ironman. Outside of the gym, though, gentlemen, you need to be focusing on NEAT and steps. NEAT. What is NEAT? Your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Exactly what I'm doing right now. Cooking, cleaning, walking, inside my house, outside my house, moving around the farm. Everything outside of your planned workout is important. If you're sitting at your desk all day, behind a computer, cortisol is going up, body fat will stay, water retention increases. It's going to be very difficult for you to lose body fat when you are sitting all day. You have to do something outside of the gym. That doesn't mean cardio. Cardio is advanced. You can do it, but you have to understand that it's advanced, and that's a whole nother ball game. NEAT and steps. How many? How many steps? 10 to 12,000 is the gold standard in my opinion. Anything under 10 is a little low. Anything over 12 is a little excessive. You know, you're going to start to get out. You're going to start to be out there for a long time. So how do we break this down? After every meal, just go walk 20 minutes. If you walk after every meal 10 to 20 minutes, that adds up to an hour a day, give or take. You're going to be at 10,000 steps, depending on your pace. But it really doesn't matter about the step count. It matters about the duration. If you're lifting in the gym, you're likely burning between 150 to 300 calories, depending on what you're doing in the gym and how long. Okay? Then you have your steps. If you're walking or moving and doing NEAT for an hour a day, which everyone should be moving for an hour a day outside of the gym, even if you're lazy or you have a desk job, I guarantee if you add the amount of time up, going up the steps, leaving the office, to the car, parking garage, into Starbucks, whatever your day-to-day looks like, you're getting an hour of movement. So we have roughly, let's say, 200 calories from the gym. We have almost 1,000 calories from NEAT and steps. And then most men, their basal metabolic rate, your BMR, between 16 and 2,200, let's just say 2,000. This is why I like higher calories, gentlemen. You can do it. Look at this. What is that? That's 3,200 calories. Now, most of you likely aren't getting this, 1,000 calories from NEAT and steps. But if you're going to the gym 3 to 4 times a week, you're 100% getting this, maybe more, maybe less, and you're 100% getting 2,000 calories just from existing. If you laid in bed and you didn't do anything all day, that's the amount of calories you're going to burn. That's your basal metabolic rate. So all these added up, and we get 3,200 calories. That's why I have you eating 2,400 calories, because most men burn the same. Your BMR might be a little higher, might be a little lower, but 3,200 calories with 2,400 calories consumed every day gives you some room to what? Go over, and you're still in that 500 calorie deficit. You see what I'm saying? That's why I like doing 24, 25, 2,600 calories, because you're burning more calories than you think. You need to fuel and feed the machine. If you still have the gut, gentlemen, if you still have the gut, you might not be eating enough. You might not have the right macros, calories, everything timed in, carbs, right? Fiber, timing it, pre, post, intra. So these are all things to consider. You know, how many times you're strength training a week, NEAT steps. If you follow this blueprint, and I know it's confusing, I'm looking at it now, you will develop an amazing physique, you will lose the gut, you will get leaner, and you will have a sustainable, fun system to take you to that next level. Because remember what I said, if it's not sustainable, it's not fun. If it's not fun, you're likely not going to stick to it. And you're not going to have your six-pack. So that's all we've got for today, gentlemen. I've been talking all day on coaching calls. I wanted to get this out to you. I was thinking about it last night before I went to bed. So lose the gut. This is everything. As always, leave comments below. I will answer every single question you guys put. And with that, gentlemen, hopefully one day I will see you at the top.